Hello and welcome to Nightly Scroll. I'm Hayley, Caronia. Quick message from Birch Gold before the show. There are a lot of politicians that should be getting coal in their stocking for Christmas, but Birch Gold thinks, as a smart planner, you deserve silver. That's why for every $5,000 you purchase between now and December 22nd, Birch Gold will send you an ounce of silver, which is up over 60% this year. Smart people diversify and have a hedge. And with the rate cuts from the Fed in 2026, and the dollar will be worth much less. And what happens if the AI bubble bursts? Diversify. Let Birch Gold Group help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. And for every $5,000 you buy, you will get an ounce of silver for your stocking or for your kids. What a great way to teach them about saving smartly. Just text SCROLL to 989898 to claim your eligibility for this offer. Again, text SCROLL to the number 989898 today because Birch Gold's free silver with qualifying purchase promotion ends on December 22nd. Text SCROLL to 989898. Message and data rates apply. Well, welcome into Nightly Scroll, everyone. If you're watching on X or on Facebook, you're only going to get a little bit of the show. So come on over to Rumble. We already have all the homies there in the chat ready for you. So rumble.com/Hayley brings you to the Bongino Report channel. That is where you can watch Nightly Scroll in full, and I hope you do. And again, just a quick reminder that we are sitting on a very unfortunate 666,000 followers. So if you could just send the link to a friend. I know people were DMing me today saying that they were telling their friends. I appreciate it. So grab that link, send it to your family group chat, your friend group chat, whoever. Get more people to follow the account so we can get off of that unfortunate number. I would appreciate it. But what do we have on deck tonight? Well, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett has released a video announcing that Senate campaign. And of course, it is all about Trump. Really, it's all Trump and really no Jasmine at all. Also, 2 New Jersey men have been arrested in a plot to kill DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. Not a peep from the Democrats, by the way. You know, we're seeing threats on the lives of ICE agents and people who work for DHS. Of course, the Democrats do not care. They only care about violence against them. They only care when people call Tim Walz a retard. But of course, when there are actual threats against someone, nothing. Also, liberal protesters are harassing the Trump administration officials and also fawning over murderers. What else is new? Vice President Vance is dispelling rumors that he's been yelling at the second lady in a wife beater in public. And RFK Jr. is repping out 20 pull-ups as part of a joint effort between the Transportation Department and HHS to make airports healthy again. We're going to get into all of that and so much more. Put your phones on Do Not Disturb. Nightly Scroll starts now. Here's the video. Watch this.
How about this new one they have? Their new star, Crockett. How about her?
She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person.
Crockett. Oh, man. Oh, man.
She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding.
Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring them back.
You think that's going to be effective? I mean, it's just her face with the president's voice saying that she's a low IQ individual. She didn't even fight him on it. She just sat there and smiled. She just took it.
Which made her look a little confused, no? Even during the video.
Makes her look low IQ. So President Trump, he's right. He's always right. And of course, at the end screen there, it's paid for by Jasmine for Texas. But it's really brought to you and absolutely owned by your president, Donald J. Trump. If the president of the United States that won the popular vote, the Electoral College, every swing state, thinks that Jasmine Crockett is stupid, well, what does the majority of the country think? She thinks that she cooked with this one. She thinks that this makes her look good, smart. She thinks Trump hates me, therefore everyone who hates Trump will love me. She doesn't even speak in the video. She doesn't tell Texans what she plans on delivering for them. Nothing about policy, just Trump thinks I'm an idiot. Oh, and she's been on the campaign trail and also just on video for years now saying things that are going to come back to bite her in the behind Like this one, where she says that Texas is a deplorable state.
In fact, Ms. Perry, I know your organization, the Heritage Foundation, loves Texas. Ooh, they love Texas. They always sending us some nonsense bills that somehow set this country on the wrong trajectory. They send them to Texas. They send them to Florida. Every deplorable state that we can think about, they usually coming out of y'all's think tank.
Ooh, they love Texas. So she says that Texas is a deplorable state. And yet she's representing it in Congress. She's representing Texans in Congress, and she wants a promotion. She wants to represent not just District 30. She wants to represent the state in total. So she's going to be vying for Texans' votes. The same people that she just called deplorable.
That's what Afton Bain did.
That's what Afton Bain did.
Worked real well for her.
Did not work, especially in a state, that's a great point, a state that is mostly red, and then you have these blue pockets in Knoxville, Nashville, Memphis, etc. So same kind of thing. Also reminded me of Hillary Clinton, who literally used the word deplorable, basket of deplorables. She called Trump supporters just these horrible people. She lost. It didn't work for her. It didn't work for Biden either. He called Trump supporters garbage. He didn't run, but he ran away from the race knowing that he would be shellacked by Trump. And Kamala Harris was shellacked by Trump. So this strategy doesn't work. I don't know why the Democrats keep doing it. When you're vying for the votes of a larger group of people, you have to appeal to the larger group of people. You can't just call them stupid and dumb. And, but then again, Jasmine Crockett is running, and her big announcement is the president calling her dumb. So maybe it will work. I don't know. But she is not going to be in Democratic District 30 anymore. She's got to win over all of Texas. This is the state that voted for Donald J. Trump over Kamala Harris by more than 1.5 million votes. But she says that she doesn't need those votes. Watch.
That you will fight for them. How you make voters who previously voted for Trump, particularly given that you have been an outspoken critic and he has inserted himself, just take your campaign video as is. He has inserted himself at every turn when it comes to your commentary. How will you convert those who are supportive of him to voters for you?
Yeah, I don't know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump supporters. That's not our goal.
Do you need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our goal is to make sure that we can engage people that historically have not been talked to, because there's so many people that
I don't think she knows what state she lives in. I don't think she knows the state that she's running to represent at all. Because not only does she think that she can get by without picking up any Trump supporters, any Trump voters, she's also going to run on gun control amid other Democrat things. Watch this.
Well, I'm done with politics as usual. I'm done with going along to get along, and it gets us nowhere. I'm done watching rural hospitals and public schools close their doors. I'm done watching parents be afraid to send their kids to school or the mall or the movies because Republicans have flooded our streets with guns. I'm done with the senators sitting around doing nothing while Trump takes your hard-earned money, skims your Social Security, slashes Medicare, and gives tax breaks to billionaires. I'm done. I'm done watching the American dream on life support while Trump tries to pull the plug. The gloves have been off, and now I'm jumping into the ring. I'm asking for your support to be the next United States Senator from the greatest state of Texas.
Deplorable state, the greatest state. See, it's whatever fits in the moment, whatever fits the narrative, whatever she needs to say in whatever moment. This is what they do. So in that clip, she's talking about how, President Trump is slashing, funding for this and whatever. The American people voted for Doge. The American people love that concept of cutting government spending, especially when it's going to things that don't matter. And we've seen a lot with these SNAP benefits and EBT cuts to these programs, which have been, back. They've been, reinstated, by the way. But for the ones that have been cut, it's like you see these videos, it's like the fattest person you've ever seen in your life saying that, like, oh my gosh, my SNAP benefits are gone. And it's like, it's just laughable. It's also laughable to run on gun control in Texas. She said that Republicans have flooded the streets with guns. So what is she insinuating, that she's going to do like a gun buyback program? Because the guns are already on the streets. So how does she plan on controlling said guns?
It's Texas.
Again, does she know the state that she's running in and she's running to represent? Seems like no. Do we have any Texans in the chat? If I have any Texans in the chat, please let me know how you would feel if Jasmine Crockett wanted to come for your guns. You let me know. So if the gun buyback or whatever she has, gun control plans fails, she's also throwing freebies at the Black community. Listen to this.
Just this past week, I saw, I don't remember which celebrity, but it was actually a celebrity. And I was like, I don't know that that's not necessarily a bad idea, but I'd have to think through it a lot. One of the things that they propose is Black folk not have to pay taxes for a certain amount of time, because then again, that puts money back in your pocket. But at the same time, it may not be as objectionable to some people about actually giving out dollars. But obviously then you start dealing with the different tax brackets and things like that. And that's one of the reasons that, you know, we argue the reparations make sense, because so many Black folk, not only do you owe for the labor that was stolen and killed and all the other things, right? But the fact is, like, we end up being so far behind, right? And so it's like, how do you bring forth people? Exactly. And so it's like, if you do the no tax thing for people that are already, say, struggling and aren't really paying taxes in the first place, it doesn't really, exactly.
They may want those checks like they got during COVID.
Exactly.
So tax breaks for Blacks equals reparations. That's what it's just like it sounds better because, you know, you say reparations and everyone starts freaking out, rightfully so. But tax breaks, okay. Democrats love tax breaks. They need high taxes, not tax breaks. They need high taxes to pay for all of their welfare programs. So what she's saying is, we're going to basically tax white people at a higher rate. This is like a Mamdani style policy. Because if she's saying, well, Black people won't have to pay taxes, and this is our form of paying back the Black community for shit that they never went through, like people who live today just never went through anything. So again, like on behalf of ancestors and their ancestors, like it's insane. But they need high taxes to pay for it. So she's essentially saying they're going to tax white people higher to pay for all the Democrat stuff, and Black people won't have to pay for it. It's crazy.
So her current platform, as we know now, in the great state of Texas,
is racist.
Is we'll take your money and we'll take your guns.
Yep.
That's a winning platform.
It's going to be good for her. It's going to be fun to watch. So I am excited for that. But we have to talk about Jasmine Crockett, where she stands right now, right? She was vying for this job as the ranking member on the House Oversight Committee. And she couldn't even get the votes among her fellow House Democrats for that job. So if House Democrats didn't even like Jasmine Crockett enough to vote for her, how is she going to find votes in red Texas to vote for her? It just doesn't make sense. And all of that, there's so much oppo on Jasmine Crockett. Whoever is running against her, I think Wesley Hunt is the one of the candidates, the Republican candidates for that seat. There's so much oppo on Jasmine Crockett. She is just delivering ammo for the other side, for Republicans, because there's been a complaint filed with the Federal Election Commission regarding Act Blue donations to Jasmine Crockett's congressional campaign, that they were being made in people's names against their will. There was an elderly gentleman, he's in his 70s, and he found out that 56 donations were made in his name to Jasmine Crockett that he didn't make. So if that was just one person, how many people did that happen to? Probably quite a few. So that's sketchy. So mix that with her lavish spending habits. She drops thousands of dollars on ritzy hotels and car services, none of them in DC, by the way. This is when she's not in the swamp and not in her district. So she's frolicking all over in Vegas and Martha's Vineyard. So she's not in her district, but she's dropping thousands of dollars to stay in the nicest places. She also dropped thousands of dollars on private security, which would be fine if she didn't call to defund the police. You know, rules for thee, not for me. All of this while she owes $3,000 in unpaid debts on her Dallas condo. But whoever likes Jasmine Crockett, I guess people showed up to this campaign event last night, including this rapper. I'm having a hard time calling him that, but nothing says send me to the Senate more than anti-Trump slam poetry. Listen.
Okay. She ain't never scared and she ain't never been. Always willing to go toe-to-toe against the president. I can't wrap my head around someone who votes Republican. She advocate for feeding kids. They protect folks touching them. Trump invading his own country with our army. What a joke. We remember Pearl Harbor by illegally bombing boats. What y'all thought we wasn't gonna do nothing, buddy? Think again. They only trying to scare her out of running because they think she'll win. Listen, thought I told y'all we ain't never scared. Now look who name on the docket. Got 2 words for every racist bigot. Jasmine Crockett.
He forgets the lyrics here, even though he's reading them off of a piece of paper.
Me, I hope my money goes to side that isn't trying to say affordability's a hope. She stand on business, Austin toes. Texas dope, don't need no more bad built, bleach, blonde, butch bodies moving forward.
All right.
Could be the monitoring situation. He was a little off the track there.
He was, but he was also reading the lyrics off of a sheet of paper, so... And there were lyrics, you could hear someone rapping on the... He was just...
Yeah, it's that layered track vocal.
Yeah, well... That was
say
tough.
what you want, I'm taking him over Meg the Stallion.
Oh, come on. That's crazy.
I can't stand her.
Meg the Stallion's actually popular, and I would say she's better than whatever that was.
I don't know, when Kamala had pulled her out for her campaign, that was just an ass-shaking thing.
It was.
And she went away.
And it was crazy. I agree, but...
At least this was funny.
I don't think it was meant to be funny, though.
Oh, but it was still funny.
I think that Meg the Stallion shaking her ass for everyone was funny, too.
Yeah, it was just gross.
Yeah. My gosh, Democrats, they just gotta they gotta entertain. It's like they pull these celebrities out. I'm not calling that guy a celebrity, but he was rapping in that song about Trump invading his own country. It's news to me. He's invading? News to me. Also, he was saying that people are afraid that Jasmine Crockett will win, so they were trying to scare her out of running. That is the opposite of the Republican stance on Jasmine Crockett running for Senate. The Republican stance is, have at it. We can't wait. We can't wait for the material. We can't wait for the content. We cannot wait for the fight. Because if that is the best that the Democrats can do, bring it on. But it'll definitely be interesting.
Some Rub in the chat said he's the notorious STFU.
We wish. Anyway, that was a tough watch. But taking a quick break to tell you about our sponsors for tonight's show. First up is Home Title Lock. If you are a homeowner in America, you need to listen to this. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called title theft, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on a single document. They use a fake notary stamp and then file it with the county. Just like that, on record, they own your home. Using your ownership, they can take out loans against your equity or even sell your property, and you won't even know about it until foreclosure or collection notices show up in the mail. That is why I have partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can protect your equity and find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code SCROLL at HometitleLock.com and you'll get a free title history report and free 14-day trial of their $1 million triple lock protection that is 24/7 monitoring of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes, And if fraud occurs, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. This is why all of my friends who are getting married, they're buying houses, I am telling them about Home Title Lock because I don't want this to happen to them. So protect yourself like all my friends did. Do not be a victim. Protect your equity today. That is HometitleLock.com, promo code SCROLL, or use the link below. Paid subscription after 14-day trial ends. Cancel at any time. Also want to tell you about our friends at Blackout Coffee. Let's talk about real convenience without sacrificing quality. You already know I drink Blackout every morning, and if you are like me and you need that caffeine fix fast, those coffee pods are a total game changer. These aren't your average grocery store pods. Blackout pods are packed with fresh roasted, bold coffee made right here in Florida, and they work with those single-serve pod brewers. It is fast, it is easy, and actually delicious. I love all the flavors. You got to check out the holiday ones for Christmas. They've got peppermint mocha. That's my favorite. It's not bitter. It's not stale. You just pop in one of the pods and boom, you've got a strong, smooth cup of coffee in just seconds. So whether you're racing out the door, juggling kids, jumping into back-to-back calls, this is your new morning lifesaver. And the best part is they ship nationwide, so no matter where you live, you can have Florida fresh coffee at your door in days. Just head to blackoutcoffee.com/scroll or use code SCROLL at checkout for 20% off your first order. All right, so apparently there's this thing. This is a Democrat thing. They are alerting people of ICE in their area. So if ICE agents are in their area, they're driving around with whistles. And this protester, I don't really know what she was thinking that she was doing, but this ICE agent put her in her place. Watch this.
Do you have any idea how racist it is to blow a whistle at workers that are probably legal? You're just alerting them that ICE is here, and they're probably legal. That's very racist.
Which is a good point. The ICE agent walks away from this person in the car blowing the whistle, right? And how does the person in the car know that the people in her community are illegal? How does she know? She doesn't. She's just assuming that these people are illegal. She's assuming that ICE agents are maybe doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, which is they're enforcing the law. Interesting. But I'm pretty sure that, these people, they're in these cars, they're driving around following ICE, they're blowing the whistle, and these ICE agents, it seemed like they were already at a traffic stop. Like they had stopped someone or they were talking to workers or something. I'm pretty sure that they already know that ICE is there. ICE, not that they're making a scene or anything, but when, ICE agents come up onto your wherever you're working, you don't need some lady over there whistling out of her car. They're probably very much aware of what's going on. So again, just a virtue signal. But this is apparently part of a larger effort. And MS Now, formerly MSNBC, did a report on this whistleblower granny who follows around ICE agents in her car. And she happens to be a reverend also. Watch this.
In New Orleans, heightened fear as federal agents enforce President Trump's immigration crackdown. But one local grandmother is rolling up her sleeves and pushing back. 71-year-old Reverend James Malden says her faith drives her to keep her community informed and safe. So she trails ICE agents patrolling the city's streets, alerting people of their whereabouts on social media.
She's doing what so many others are doing here, which is ICE verifying, ICE spotting, as it's called. And the way that it works is that you're in a Facebook group, you're in a WhatsApp group, you'll hear an eyewitness report of a potential federal agent in the area, and she'll go and drive to that area, take a picture of a car that she suspects to be ICE, report it back into those Facebook groups, into those WhatsApp groups, as a means of letting the community know to shelter in place and to stay safe, but also by letting DHS and ICE know that they're being watched. And we're actually at the scene of one of these reports right now. Why is it so important for you to be doing what you're doing, and how does your faith drive what you're doing here today?
Nobel Peace Prize winner Elie Wiesel said the opposite of love is not hatred, it is indifference.
How close to the steering wheel you got to be?
I believe my faith in action drives me to love, to be present, to witness and care for my neighbors, and I love my country dearly. I want my children, my grandchildren, and their grandchildren to have the similar democracy to what I have.
So apparently she's a Unitarian pastor. She's a reverend. And I just have to say, I'm grateful every day that in the Catholic Church, we don't let women preach. Who wants to listen to that? I don't. Anyway, this woman, she drives around, blows her whistle at ICE agents. This is apparently supposed to let people know that they should go back into their homes. I'm assuming that if ICE agents are in the area, they know that there are illegal aliens in the area to catch.
Did you see how close she was to the steering wheel?
I didn't notice, no. She is. Wow. She's very close.
She got enough room for the whole production crew in the back seat.
Well, that's probably it. She was making room for MS Now in the back.
She sneezes, that airbag's gone.
It was so fun. When I first saw this video earlier today, and I'm watching this, I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then they panned over, and I saw that they were in the car with her the whole time. You should have seen the laugh. Like, I was belly laughing at this. And, they're blowing whistles at ICE agents, following around, doxing them, etc., all while threats are up against them 8,000%. And that's just not agents who are out in the field. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's Assistant Secretary, Tricia McLaughlin, has received threats on her life. So twins from New Jersey, twin guys, they were arrested and charged with threatening to torture, hang, and kill Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. They had posted on social media, shoot ICE on sight, addition to wishing harm on McLaughlin. And earlier today, DHS, a SWAT team, they did a search and they carried out an arrest warrant for these two guys. They are U.S. citizens living in New Jersey, and they are being charged now with unlawful possession of an assault weapon, possession of prohibited weapons, conspiracy, terroristic threats, criminal coercion threats, and cyber harassment, which makes you think, thankfully they were caught because of what they were posting online, threats, right? Valid threats on Tricia's life. But what were they going to be doing with those prohibited weapons that were in their possession? That's a very scary thought. And now acting Immigration and ICE Enforcement Director Todd Lyons said this in a statement: "Let this be a warning to anyone who dares threaten or attack our brave law enforcement officers. We will find you, we will arrest you, and we will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. We are not afraid of you. And if you threaten our law enforcement or DHS officials, we will hunt you down and you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." And I'm just wondering why we haven't seen one Democrat denounce this. Because I've seen multiple Democrats cry over people calling Tampon Tim retarded. Because people are apparently, driving past the governor's mansion in Minnesota and they are screaming retard, out the window. And this is all because President Trump called him a retard. Democrats are freaking out over that. But then there are valid threats on the life of a Trump administration official. And nothing. They don't care. Someone can threaten to kill a member of the Trump administration and it's just crickets. Because in their mind, murder of those they disagree with is justified. Which brings me to liberal support for the United Healthcare CEO shooter. And the evidence hearing is underway for that murder, that senseless murder. And we remember this happening, this young kid, shot the United Healthcare CEO in the back, totally defenseless. He's walking into work, and this guy wasn't even using United Healthcare. He just had beef with healthcare in general. And, he's pleaded not guilty on all charges. And as this whole case has been unfolding and the hearing, he has devoted fans. After this killing, he has received over 6,000 letters in prison. And now that this hearing is ongoing, there are women standing in line to go support him in person. There's video of liberal women just standing outside. Like, he has a lot of support. These women have made him into a sex symbol. Because when they find an attractive liberal man, they don't know what to do with themselves, because I will admit it's pretty rare. But they are acting like he's a member of the Beatles, when in reality, he killed the CEO of a company he wasn't even a customer at in this like symbolic murder, like he was standing up to the healthcare industry, but he did nothing. And now he's not pleading guilty. He can't even own what he did. That's their hero? This is the left's hero? I truly can't get into the heads of liberal protesters, but they always seem to be at the ready with their Handmaid's Tale costumes. I don't know, I need to watch this show. I haven't watched The Handmaid's Tale, but liberals are obsessed with it. They're dressing up as this all the time. It started with, the overturning of Roe versus Wade. I remember when Amy Coney Barrett was appointed to the Supreme Court and all this stuff. The liberals, they have their Handmaid's Tale costumes ready. Apparently, women are just like incubators in this show. I don't know anything about it other than this world, Gilead, in the show. They seem to think that it's modern day America, especially under the Trump administration. They seem to think that women are just, I don't know, sex objects or something. Whatever. None of it makes sense. But they were protesting recently over the weekend. Pete Hegseth's church, the Christian National, they were calling it a Christian nationalist church in D.C. while he was inside with his family. Watch this. So they're just screaming, hooting and hollering.
He's screaming.
And their sign says, honk if you hate Nazis.
Man, that's the first female cop I've seen play with nibs. I see that you all do it.
I don't know why I don't know what they're saying. Honestly, the noises they were making sound a little demonic. I'm not going to lie. Someone in the chat just said demon's going to demon. Yeah, it sounds a little demonic to me. And again, if you are outside of a church on Sunday with your megaphone, you probably are demonic. I mean, all he's doing is, celebrating his religion, worshiping God. And I don't know if these women, they have their Handmaid's Tale costumes at the ready. They sleep in them just in case. They have them, washed and dried and just ready to go. They throw it off the hanger. They hear that Pete Hegseth is at church and they're just like, oh, time to put my costume on. And then they go find him. And these are liberals who claim that they want to uphold democracy and the Constitution. And they're exercising their First Amendment right to peacefully protest. And then they should also understand that freedom of religion is also protected. So I'm not sure what they're really protesting, seeing as Pete Hegseth was at church, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And he's also not a Nazi. So just doesn't make much sense. But they will protest outside of church. We've seen a lot of this during the holiday season, a lot of attacks on the Christian religion. We've seen also a lot of churches just get political in really gross ways. Like I covered this last week, but multiple churches in blue states that have, anti-ICE messaging. They have, zip-tied baby Jesus in their nativities. They have, nativities that don't have a baby Jesus at all, claiming that he was kidnapped by ICE. I mean, these are just ridiculous messages. And I think we can only attribute this to the enemy. Like this is attacks on Christianity during the Christmas season. And just recently, a gay influencer, maybe gay, part of the LGBTQ community, was slamming Catholic Gwen Stefani. She's a singer. She was in No Doubt. She's obviously gone out on her own, very successful. She's married to Blake Shelton. Are they still married?
I believe so.
I thought they were, yeah. With Blake Shelton, and, she's open about her Catholic faith, and this influencer is not happy about it. Watch.
It is important this holiday season to spend time in prayer, letting God into our hearts and letting Jesus bring us his peace. Download Hallow today.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, aka when Gwen Stefani shills for the right-wing anti-abortion pay-to-pray app, Hallow. And if you're feeling like you've missed a few chapters of late-stage capitalism meets religious grifting meets your favorite Y2K celebrity, I am here to help. Hallow is a daily pay-to-pray app that costs $70 a year. before tax. God's not cheap. Now, I know this sounds really extreme and deeply unpopular and incredibly regressive and violent. And it is. But if you're J.D. Vance or Peter Thiel or any of the deeply evil men who believe in this crap, and you're looking for a way to get no abortion even in cases of rape or incest into the mainstream range of acceptable viewpoints, what better way to do that than by recruiting everyone's favorite holla back girl? Holla back girl, more like hallow app girl.
Gross. People in the chat are saying they feel sick. If you are listening and not watching, that was a man with beautiful blue eyeshadow and long fingernails, longer than mine, and that's saying a lot. But he has a problem with Gwen Stefani promoting the Pray app or the Hallow app. And what difference does it make? If someone is Christian or Catholic and they want to promote that, they want to promote an app that other Christians can use to pray, worship, what difference does it make? He's tying faith to politics in a way where he's pushing nonsensical talking points. He's saying that J.D. Vance and whoever else he brought up, they're pushing Catholic doctrine. They're saying that, or Christian beliefs that there should be no abortion. But he's saying that they're pushing policies that don't allow for women to get abortions in these like high risk situations in the life of the mother, in all the like rape and incest, these other instances. There's no heartbeat law in this country as it stands that doesn't allow for that. So what he's saying is just not true. Like I haven't seen an abortion ban that has pushed further than that. So I don't really know what he's talking about, but you know, they have an issue with Christians talking about their Christian beliefs during the Christmas season. Meanwhile, they have all of Pride Month to be moralist heathens and celebrate their sexuality and all of their devious desires. So let the Christians have the Christmas season to pray. Leave it alone.
I don't think you get to attack an app that encourages regular prayer and then get to call anything evil. Your opinion on evilness is totally void. Totally void.
Totally. Yeah, it's really sad. But we'll pray for him. But we have to talk about this Gavin Newsom stuff. We were going to cover this yesterday, and we didn't get to it. But it is just... This happened last week. But Gavin Newsom was speaking at that New York Times thing that Erica Kirk was at, and a bunch of other people were speaking at. And this picture of Gavin Newsom went viral because people were saying that he was crushing his own balls. And if we could just throw up this visual for the chat. But, you know, I don't really see very many men crossing their legs that high up, crushing their own balls. And also his ankle is doing something that's making me uncomfortable as well. That just doesn't look comfy. That's for sure.
I mean, I've made fun of people for crossing their legs way less extreme than what Gav is doing over here.
I guess like the high, if you're going
That's
to cross,
nuts, pun intended.
That is nuts, pun intended. I feel like if you're going to cross your legs as a man up high, I've seen guys do this where like, you know, there's room for the ball sack. You want to put yourselves on camera so people can see you demonstrating the biological men in the room? Because again, I don't know. Like this is not my expertise.
There's masculine ways to cross legs, but he had to do 30 minutes of stretching and yoga
to get in that pose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. I think it's because liberal feminists always talk about manspreading and how much they hate manspreading. So he's doing the opposite extreme. He's like, I don't want to manspread. I want to basically act like I have a vagina.
I mean, if you just look at the amount of space he's probably taking up the same amount of space as manspreading, just the other extreme.
Other way, yeah. The other way, his ankles are so spread wide. Yeah. So then, you know, he's getting a lot of hate for this, obviously, online, because obviously. And didn't Obama cross his legs like that too? Like, this is kind of normal amongst liberal men. And maybe it's because they don't have balls.
If he crossed his legs any further, he's turning around.
Maybe this is why they're so confused about who belongs in what bathroom and what locker room. Because they're like, well, I don't have balls, so I could just go into the women's locker room. What am I going to, what do I have going on down there? Nothing, apparently. So people are making fun of Gavin Newsom, of course. And then his press office went on X and posted this photo that was, I guess, supposed to make this better, saying democracy requires flexibility. And this is an AI version of Gavin Newsom sitting at that same event on the same stage, although he's in some kind of a yoga position that, again, makes me feel really uncomfy.
I don't know about you. That looks like photographic evidence that there's nothing to crush.
Well, isn't it funny that AI basically gave him a vagina?
I don't know if it's AI or just Photoshop. If it's Photoshop, that's even worse because then they didn't even Photoshop something in his pants.
You can't even blame, like, oops, the AI took his balls out. I mean, there's nothing going on in there. If you are listening and not watching, you made the right decision today. I'm just going to say that because what we're looking at right now is a little disturbing. How do I even describe this? I mean, he's in a pretzel position that no man should ever be in. Someone in the chat just said, Miss Hayley, come on, I just got done eating. I'm sorry.
If the whole presidential thing doesn't work out in 28, he could come down here to Orlando at Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil. Yeah. Speak in the chat said, smooth like a Ken doll. He really is. He really, really is. So, yeah, I know that the press office, they really do the Trump thing where they speak in Trump language. They tweet in the style of President Trump. And this is something that Team Trump would post. Like, it's actually kind of odd that they made Gavin Newsom look super gay, like even more gay than he already was. It's like they're just like dunking on themselves. It's really quite interesting. Also, an AI video, or actually, I don't know if it's AI, but I think it is. There was a photo that was going around of Vice President Vance at a restaurant, and people on the internet were claiming that he was in a fight with Second Lady Usha Vance. And you could see in this photo that Vice President Vance has like an angry looking face, and he's in a white undershirt. And it looks like Second Lady Usha Vance, you can't see her face, but maybe it's supposed to be her, is kind of, she's got her head in her hands and she's looking down and she's just, she's just getting yelled at. This is what the photo looks like. And this has gone viral, and people were reporting on X that this was legitimately Vice President Vance yelling at his wife in public. And the vice president took to X to clear things up and just make this clear. He said, I always wear an undershirt when I go out in public to have a fight loudly with my wife. He's hilarious. It's also funny. I can't believe that we're living in a timeline where the vice president of the United States has to take to X to dispel rumors that he's like a wife-beating, or he's not a wife-beating lunatic wearing an undershirt yelling at his wife in public.
Kind of looks like he's eating that Somalia food.
Yeah. It looks like he's like mid-gag after taking a bite of the Somalian beef slop, bean slop. Yeah. These kind of things go viral. And again, if this photo was photoshopped or AI or something, I don't know. But it's gone viral and people are spreading rumors about, the Vance family falling apart. The left is just desperate for his marriage to fail. They spread rumors about him leaving the second lady for Erica Kirk, a grieving widow, by the way. And they took that whole instance, that hug, out of context. They make it seem like, well, the vice president's going to leave his wife for Erica, which is totally not true. And it's insane. And she, the fact that a grieving widow had to go on news networks and dispel those rumors is also disgusting. It's just, these people are demonic. And then, a lot of the left I see on social media, specifically on TikTok a lot, people on the left love Melania Trump. Even the libs think that she is they think that she's beautiful. They think that she's funny. They specifically love that they think that Melania hates Trump. That's why the left loves her. She kind of has this like weird leftist cult following where they think that it's funny that she's in this relationship and, you know, she was just like in it for the money. And then all of a sudden she got this, you know, first lady position that she wasn't vying for. And she's just, you know, doing what she needs to do, right? But it's just gross because it all stems from their hatred of the first family and the second family, and they want to see them ripped apart for some reason. They can't get behind the fact that they might be in happy marriages. They just think that married people are miserable. I think this all just goes back to the left, like hating marriage. They hate the institution of marriage. They can't understand why Vice President Vance decided to marry Usha Vance and vice versa. Usha Vance wanted to marry JD Vance. Like they make these disgusting racist comments about how like he should be with Erica instead. Like, what? They chose to marry each other. They love each other. And then they sped rumors about, well, the second lady wasn't wearing her ring. And then she has to come out and talk to the mainstream media about, well, I took my ring off to wash dishes and because I'm a mom and I forgot and this happens. Like, it's just the left is desperate for these relationships to fail. And they're miserable. Like misery loves company and they want these relationships to fail. They can't wrap their heads around Republicans being in happy marriages.
Families are in direct opposition to the entire Democrat platform.
Right. Right.
They simply cannot coexist.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. And they hate the fact that Melania is a legal immigrant. They hate the fact that JD Vance is in a biracial relationship. Like they hate this because these are, you know, they claim that Republicans hate these things. And
if this
administration
was a Democrat administration, they'd be idolized. They'd be like on Obama level
100%.
Of diversity and whatever the hell else.
100%. It's insane. Also insane is this new stat that childhood obesity rates rose 2% over the pandemic. 1 million more kids became obese during COVID. So the childhood obesity rate in the United States rose from 21% to 23% over the pandemic. So again, 1 million more children obese. And these kids will be at an increased risk of heart disease, stroke, arthritis, liver disease, and other chronic illnesses later in life. And you can thank a Democrat for that. Because this is just another way that they fail children, all while claiming that they care about them. They're the ones that close the schools. This means no balanced lunches for kids who might not get them at home. That means no gym class. That means no extracurriculars, after-school sports. Gyms were closed down. Kids were statistically less likely to die from COVID anyway. So instead, the cure became worse than the disease. Cure, being sarcastic, obviously was not a cure. And all these kids were shuttered inside, away from their friends. That's not healthy. Away from their hobbies. That's not healthy. And other healthy habits. And now some of these kids will experience comorbidities later in life because of it. Make it make sense. But we have the Trump administration that is working hard to make America healthy again, of course. And the Transportation Department has teamed up with HHS. Transportation Secretary Duffy announced plans to improve airports and make them more health conscious, potentially adding nursing stations for breastfeeding mothers or chest feeding former transportation secretaries. You never know. Maybe Pete Buttigieg is flying and he needs to chest feed his kid. He also talked about adding places to work out, pull-up bars, and other places to get steps in. So here is RFK Jr. leading by example in his 70s. Watch this. Here he is on the pull-up bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is good. This is really good.
Oh, man. He's coming for you, Paul. He's coming for me.
He's still got more in him.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Let's go.
He's laughing. He got 20 in. I'm impressed. I'm impressed because I can't do push-ups.
If you're a content creator,
Those are pull-ups.
Pull-ups. I can't do pull-ups either. Pull-ups or push-ups, can't do them. I'm working on it, but can't do them. This just got me thinking about airport etiquette and stuff because obviously if you do 20 pull-ups or whatever, you're not going to be super sweaty. But if they implement some other like place where people are going to get like steps in, like people are going to get really sweaty. I am not going to want to sit next to someone that took the opportunity to do some steps in the airport and then did not shower.
Do you see how much he was sweating before he even started doing those pull-ups? I mean, he probably did about 180 standing squats waiting on his Starbucks.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude's a fit dude.
He is a fit dude. Someone in the chat said, I'm not exercising at the airport. Yeah, I'm not either. This is coming from someone who goes to the gym 6 days a week. I make sure that I get my workout in, either at my destination or before I go to the airport. It would never occur to me to work out at the airport other than just like walking around. I mean, you got your bag, you can get some steps in that way for sure. You could go on the little, what's that like walking thing?
The people mover?
Yeah. What is that called?
I think people mover is a decently appropriate name.
I mean, it moves people.
Official name. Yeah.
It moves people, that's for sure. But yeah, if I am sitting on a plane next to some stinky person, I am not going to be thrilled.
Hot take. Do you walk on the people mover and
I
pass
do.
people on the people mover?
I do.
Oh, man.
Isn't that the point? It's not moving that fast, but if you're walking, it does move you quickly.
Oh, you walk on the left and you stand on the right. They got signage for that.
I don't feel like there's a lane, though. I think you just elbow your way through the people mover.
Me? I'm very polite.
In general, like people who are walking are blowing past the people who are standing.
I don't think you're supposed to just stand on it. It's not moving that quickly. You're not going to, you'd get to the other side faster by just walking on the regular walkway. I think you're supposed to move on the people movers. Am I crazy? People in the chat weigh in. Moving sidewalk. Yes, you walk on the conveyor. Yes. Someone said you can stand on it. Yes, obviously you can stand on it. I'm saying you're supposed to move on it. It's supposed to help you move. It's not like a brake. Someone say stand on the right, walk on the left. You know how I feel. Everyone's got a place to be. Move it, move it, move it. That is my stance at the airport. The faster you can get out of my way, the better, and I will try my best to get out of your way.
And the people movers are always after security, though. So at that point, you're going nowhere fast. You're like, got to get to my gate 90 minutes early.
Get to your gate. Get to the gate. I don't know. Should we get into some scrolling time? Let's do it. Someone said dance. I dance every day. You don't got to worry about me. All right. Team Trump has been absolutely crushing it on social media. And they started off with this video of President Trump in Home Alone 2, where he's in New York. But this time it is not Kevin McAllister that President Trump is giving directions to. It is little Zohran Mamdani. Watch.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
Why? Like, where do they come up with these ideas?
I hope that there's a whole series based off of Mamdani in this movie. Like when he meets he can meet the old weird pigeon lady.
Uh-huh.
He could get hit by a brick. I mean, it's endless.
That would be funny. Someone should do that.
You've seen Home Alone.
Yes, I have.
All right, good.
That is a movie I have seen. I've seen Home Alone 1. I've seen Home Alone 2. Is there a Home Alone 3? I don't think I've seen that one.
He got left at home 3 times?
Yeah, these parents... Someone call CPS.
Guys, this poor kid.
Someone's got to call CPS. Something's not right. They've got too many kids.
I'm trying to move out if I'm... There's 4? This kid's been left at home 4 times?
I did not know there's a Home Alone 4.
I think 4's a reboot. Looks kind of scammy. There's definitely 3, though.
Oh, Home Alone 4, it's a new kid. It's not even... Oh, it's his kid.
He left his own kid after being left 3 times?
I think so, because it looks like, what's his face? Macaulay Culkin's in it. That's not a movie that
Holy crap, someone in the chat said they're 5, and he's right. There's 5 Home Alones.
It's another kid?
Home Alone, The Holiday Heist in 2012.
It's a different kid than the other one. It's a different kid than the one that was left behind in 4.
I want to see Mondami in all of these.
This is what's wrong with reboot culture. I'm so sick of the reboots. Home Alone 1 was great. Home Alone 2, great. I didn't see the rest, okay? You don't need more than 2. You don't need a prequel. You don't need more than 2 sequels. You don't need a remix. You don't need a reboot. You don't need the 20-year anniversary. You don't need the 30-year anniversary.
You don't want the backstory of the 2 robbers?
You don't need the live
you don't need a
action,
spin-off?
whatever. You don't
How are
need
you going to do it?
anything.
You're going to do a prequel where they're planning to leave him alone?
Yes. I wouldn't put it past them. I would not put it past them.
Hey, it's cheaper if we leave Kev.
I would not put it past Hollywood. They're lazy MFers. Seriously.
Home Alone 6, Kevin's a tranny.
Brought to you by Netflix. And he's black, too. He's black and queer. And he's like a professor. Can't wait for that one. That'll be awesome. This next video, also posted by the White House, is just incredible. So this cuffing season song was part of a SZA skit on SNL. SZA is a singer, rapper. I guess more of a singer. And she made this song as part of a skit about cuffing season, which is supposedly about getting together, finding a romantic partner. That is what happens during cuffing season. But the White House did their own spin on cuffing season featuring ICE. Watch this. I'm not going to lie. I absolutely love it. I love when the White House jumps on good trends. It's just funny. And it triggers the libs. Oh my gosh, you see the comment section on that video. Just libs triggered left and right. They're so upset by it. Anyway, this next video is a birthday celebration gone wrong. I'm not really sure what they were trying to do here. If this is I don't know what this is. Tiramisu. They're trying to light on fire or something, but I don't know. It's not good. Here's Granny.
Flame away until you pour it on there.
Uh-oh. Cake is on fire. Her hand's on fire. The glass is on fire. The table's on fire. Now they're trying to put the fire out with a plastic tablecloth. Now the plate's on fire. Now the plate's broken on the floor, and that's on fire. Granny's on fire. They put the flaming cake, by the way, on the chair.
What's that, like napalm frosting?
0 brain cells between everyone in this family. They're trying to put a fire out with plastic, like the most flammable tablecloth you could ever find. It's crazy. Someone in the chat said, blow that out. Hot cakes, what a family. Stop, drop, and roll. I mean, who let Granny light the cake on fire? You know what I mean? What happened to just 2 number candles on the cake? You know, do you remember that picture of Joe Biden that went viral? It was like his 89th birthday or something. And it was his birthday and they literally put like 88 candles on it or something. And it was like this inferno underneath the president. Again, what happened to just the numbers? You just put 2 candles on it. No big deal. Yeah, this is Biden is bracing himself on the table.
That looks like a I've had bonfires in the woods that aren't as like flammable as that thing.
He's a little concerned, I think, at the inferno blazing in front of him. He doesn't look too relaxed. He doesn't look excited to be celebrating his birthday. He looks like he's white knuckling the sides of the table. It looks a little scary, and I don't blame him. There's no reason for that many candles, and there's no reason. Someone in the chat said baked Alaska. That's what
Well,
it
he
is.
is 125 years old, so maybe it's 1 per year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just unnecessary.
He's probably not afraid of it because he invented fire.
What age do you think you have to... It's so true. What age do you think you have to stop doing 1 candle per year?
Probably 9. I don't know. When does it become a fire hazard?
Right. I think 10. And then once you get into like the further double digits, then you could just do the 2 candles. 11, 12, 13. But, Joe Biden inventing fire, and then he's just like this, waiting
2 votes
for the
for
fire.
10 in the chat.
10? Yeah, I think it's good. Someone said 16. Okay. 17. Why? Why 17? I think it's just double digits. Then you could just do the 2 candles, but anyway, this last video, we'll do it quick. I was going to do this yesterday during scrolling time when I had a bunch of my animal videos and then we didn't get to it. So this is a little random, but it's funny.
Running across the street. Oh!
Here's a rat running across the street. He makes it, almost. There's a car that's gonna, uh-oh. He makes it, multiple cars, but the rat makes it across the street, and then Hawk comes and gets him. It's just the circle of life, people. It's just the circle of life. Could I get an eagle screech? And on that note, thanks for scrolling with me. You can follow me on social media at Hayley Caronia, HayleyCaronia. I'm on X, TikTok. What else? Truth Social, Instagram, all the good ones. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow.